Hi friends, and welcome to Screen Vomit, the only movie podcast for normal people. I'm of course your host Kayla, and I do have a guest with me today, but before I get to them, it's my turn, baby. If you like the show, you can find me everywhere, Instagram, everywhere else, at Screen Vomit, one word on all this stuff. Leave me a rating and review if you care about me at all. I got new shirts up. The link is in my bios and in the show notes. They are super sick, and if you've been looking out for my end of year lists, they're always kind of popular. It's a huge day for me every year. I'm going to be posting that crap on New Year's Day, so check the Instagram on New Year's Day and the stories. My past year-end lists are all in my highlights on the Instagram too, so if you want to see the oldies, those are there as well. And folks, it's freaking Christmas time. I have returning guest with me today, little Christmas sicko, Ariel Dyer, one of the hosts of Not Your Final Girl podcast, famously a horror podcast. However, she is a little freak for the Christmas numbers. So this is technically her fourth time doing a Christmas movie with me for the pod. So if you're also a little freak for Christmas, you can check the backlogs. She was on the episode we did for Falling for Christmas and for Dear Christmas. She also did a Patreon only episode for a movie called Santa Girl. However, I deleted the damn Patreon, so that's kind of nowhere. Maybe a gift idea for y'all for the future. Tiny trigger warning, tiny triggy for this episode. This movie does deal with sexual harassment a little bit. I think we're a little relatively docile in our recollection of it for the podcast, but just in case, there it is. You've been warned. So anyways, we're little freaks in this episode, and I'm gonna know who listened by who can look me in the damn eyes after some of the crazy ass shit I say in this thing. Happy damn holidays! Here's the up with Ariel Dyer. All right, hell yeah, welcome to the pod. Welcome back to the pod, I should say, Ariel.
I keep coming back. I'm a cockroach for your podcast.
Ariel, the Christmas freak, the Christmas cockroach. You cannot kill me. You cannot destroy me.
Nope, never.
I'm the cockroach of Christmas.
Yeah, that's my title. That's it. It's official.
So what's up with you? Yeah, wait, I don't think, has it been a full calendar damn year since you've been on the pod?
Yeah.
Since last Christmas?
Always Christmas, yeah.
It's always Christmas. And it has to be, of course.
Unless you did something like completely unhinged, you did like Christmas in July, which, you know, I don't see that happening.
Sense.
Yeah, no. Not a tradition that we need to really encourage. So
no, but I do love having you on every Christmas for Christmas at Christmas.
It's pretty fun. I like it too.
What has been your Christmas movie season? What has it been like so far?
Really sad. Really sort of a bleak and bitter wasteland this year.
Hell yeah.
You know, I try to find the most depraved, and then this year I'm like, this shit is just fucking boring now. And I don't know if it's me, like, have I fundamentally changed as a human?
You're desensitized to it now.
Right. Like as a, you know, watching like torture porn and you're like, oh, give me the more depraved. I need to like gore.com or whatever the fuck. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure if I've fundamentally changed as a human or if the content has shifted to be worse, but in not a fun way. Like, it feels like there's been more attention on Christmas rom-coms ever since, like, I don't know, like Christmas Prince, you know, and the pandemic and shit. Yeah. So I'm not sure because it's like the production budgets are better, or they also, I don't know if you've noticed this or if you've watched a lot of them, but it seems like, remember we were talking about like the COVID filming where last year there was no one? I feel like a lot of productions during COVID realized they could just do that. They could just have no people and it would be fine. And so I don't know if they're then like, oh, we're saving a lot of money on that so we can, like, I don't know, have a better camera or hire a cameraman that actually knows what the fuck they're doing. I don't know, but it's like everything's better.
And now they're too good.
They're too good, but now they're just bland. Like, they're not fascinating, you know?
They don't have the texture, Like when you buy an old house, they don't have the character.
They don't have a character. So now I'm like a complete hipster for Christmas rom-coms, even more insufferable. I have to go like 5 years back. Like I'm like scrolling through all my streaming services. That's the other thing is I like refuse. Like I will not pay for Hallmark. I will not be doing this. Like, oh yeah, people are like, get a Hallmark subscription. I'm like, no. I'm literally just doing it versus I am a scavenger, right? I will dumpster dive for these films. I will not go to a restaurant and pay for them. So, you're looking desperately. It has to be, I'm like, is it from 2010? Oh yeah, it's going to be good. And so, the old shit, like we watched Christmas Mailman or some shit like that. I don't remember. Mail for Christmas, something. That was pretty good. It was from 2010, So that's when it's like your year, the vintage, right? You're like, oh, okay. Yeah. It's the vintage 2017 or older, then it's
got that petite.
It does. Yeah. That little something to it. Mm-hmm.
Damn, what a bummer that Christmas films are going downhill, though. Yeah, I really haven't watched any. I'm not generally, like, I always watch the ones that you and I do for the podcast. Yeah. But typically speaking, and I have, like, my own, like, holiday ones that I watch every year. But typically speaking, it's not content that I'm seeking out.
That's fair.
Christmas films.
Yeah, that's probably as it should be.
But I do I enjoy watching them to like clown on for the pod.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I also I mostly am watching movies like by myself and don't talk to anyone about them except the normals, the ScreenVomit heads online that reply to my reply guys. Uh-huh. So like if I had more of like a community vibe going on around Christmas, people over, etc., there might be more reason to watch a terrible Christmas rom-com.
I feel so
than like just for my own experience.
There's part of me that feels so like it's just I feel a little bad where I'm like, oh yeah, I watch these, but I watch like for the bad ones because there's so many people that are like, yeah, I watch these, I love them, like they're part of my holiday experience, and I'm like, well, not like that for me. I watch them, but not like that. Like what an asshole.
I watch them, but in the perverted way.
Yes, I get something out of it that you can't even conceive of.
Hell yeah. And we love that about you. All right, so let's get into the movie we picked for this week, which is the 2014 film A Christmas Kiss 2, or alternate title, Another Christmas Kiss.
Really, you really needed that alternate title. Really needed the spice of that other way to say it.
So obviously this is a film you picked. And normally the last several times that we've done Christmas Ep for ScreenVomit with you, you've given me like a list and like some unhinged plot summaries. Yeah. Like here's 10 things that sound psychotic. Pick which one you want. This time, straight to Christmas Kiss 2. Yeah. There was no deliberation. So
no choice.
So what was that for you? Or we can wait to get into it if you'd rather. But I noticed something was different for this year.
Total change. Well, I think we're on year 3 and I'm like, listen, we're year 3. I still haven't talked about this fucking one. I think this was when I first became like, I started this sickness of mine. And like, I feel like it was that first year and nothing has hit quite like that one ever since that, years.
You've been chasing that high.
Yeah. So nothing has been quite this like exquisitely bad in a really scary way. And so I was like, I really want to I know what I'm getting into with this. Cause I was kind of looking last year, we did like Lilo. I was like, what's a newer one? But all the stuff new coming out this year, I mean, it just, none of it was like wowing me. So I was like, we got to do a deep cut. We'll do a Christmas Kiss 2. There's something like that I loved about the fact that I was telling you that you had to watch a sequel. Like there was something really unhinged about that,
Yeah, we are going straight into the sequel, yes.
Which you...
And I have not seen the original either.
So I hadn't either when I first watched this. I had seen only this
You
one.
went straight into 2.
Because I don't know why I found that. I don't know why I found that to be funny also for me when it was my first experience. I was like, yeah, I'm going to love this. Straight in, baby.
Well, let's see. I mean, I'm sure there's stuff you pick up. Have you seen the first one now?
I have now seen the first one, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's stuff you pick up having seen the first one, but I also feel like I don't think I was like missing anything by like not having seen the first one. Yeah.
No, because it's not really direct. I guess, sort of a spiritual sequel, if you will.
There are characters that cross over, I think.
Yes.
But not like in a main way. They're just kind of around to show you that it's related to the other movie.
Well, and like, it's kind of funny not having seen the first one because they're so heavy-handed about like who those characters are from the first movie that you absolutely know. Because they'll say things like, I have a feeling this Christmas is going to be much better for me. You know? And like, okay, we get it.
Like, why are you being spooky about it? Yeah, I only even knew that there were crossover characters due to IMDb trivia.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But yeah, I didn't feel like I missed anything. So I think anybody could go straight into 2.
You know, in fact, the first one was quite bland. Like, I saw this and I was like, wow, can't wait to watch the first one. I can only imagine. And it was really boring and forgettable. So
what a bummer.
What a bummer.
Okay, so cast and crew on this. This is directed by Kevin Connor, who directed Motel Hell.
Oh shit, what? I love Motel Hell.
Yeah, same director.
Oh my god! Life-changing moment for me.
I can't believe you hadn't looked that up previously.
No! You know what? I was going to look at production stuff and then I was like, Kayla's going to tell me everything I need to know and we'll just experience it live on pod.
Aw. Thank you. So he directed Motel Hell. He also has directed a buttload of TV movies since like 1960 or something, like going way back.
Shit.
This is written by Joni Kane, who you probably wouldn't know from anything, but what I did think was funny is that perusing the titles through her IMDb, she is seemingly obsessed with kissing at Christmas. Not only did she write A Christmas Kiss 2, but she wrote Merry Kissmas, A Kiss for Christmas, Matchmaker Santa, and Moonlight and Mistletoe, which is also a Christmas kissing movie.
I think I've seen Merry Christmas. I think I've seen Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
I think that one might also involve an elevator. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
A quote-unquote elevator.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Cast-wise, really not a lot of people you'd probably know from stuff. There is a couple, though. Elizabeth Rome, who is just a minor character in this movie, is one of the Law and Order people.
Yep. And she's on Angel.
DA.
She's got a little role on Angel for like season 1 or season 2. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been on a couple shows. Like, she was on Flaked. I like that show, Flaked.
Okay.
She's been in a couple shows, but Law and Order is probably the thing most people would know her from. And she seemed like the most, like, actor in this movie. Like, she really had like the spark out of everyone in this movie, but yet she has 2 lines in the film. Jonathan Bennett, who plays the neighbor in this movie, is in Mean Girls.
Yep. And a lot of Christmas rom-coms, which you would only know if you were a freak, you know?
He's been in a couple other stuff, Cheaper by the Dozen too, Veronica Mars, different things like that. Everyone else in this movie seemingly only does TV movies pretty much, or other Christmas films, except the bimbo girlfriend who is a model in real life. But everyone else has an IMDb that has like 90 credits, and it's nothing you've ever heard of, which is wild.
They're working. They're working.
They are workhorses, and it's really interesting when you see the skill level at which they are performing, that they've had so many opportunities to perform, is kind of incredible. It's kind of its own Christmas miracle.
It's a certain echelon, right, of talent. Or like a level, if like, you know, Hollywood or cinema is like, there's like levels of hell, right? Like this is a certain one.
For sure. Critic scores on this, we got 34% on Rotten Tomatoes, and yet 85% of Google users gave it the thumbs up.
Oh my god, yes!
So this is a classic critical failure, but audience fave.
Well, it's good enough for me. I don't know. It gets the job done.
And actually, I'm going to have you read a plot summary.
Okay.
I forgot to tell you this in advance, but I'm going to put it in
Wow,
the
I don't get to practice.
You don't get to practice. So actually, I have 2 summaries.
Great.
One was the Google summary, and the second was from IMDb, I think. But I just think it's funny how differently these 2 summaries sum up the film. So I kind of just going to give you both of them.
I love it. Okay.
Okay. Go for it.
Do you want me to? I'm going to read both of these, and then I'm going to read my short one. Okay? Because I made one a couple years ago.
3 plot summaries to this film.
This is
and
fucking
here they are.
Wild. All right. A woman shares a passionate and unforgettable kiss with a wealthy playboy in an elevator and later discovers that he owns the company she works for. That's the first one. Number 2. At a Christmas time event, Jenna shares an impromptu, unforgettable kiss with the dashing billionaire Cooper Montgomery. Unaware of his intentions and fearful of getting hurt in another relationship, Jenna vows to resist his charms, but begins to realize his affection is real as the two spend more time together.
Much more detailed than that one.
Okay.
Totally different vibe.
Totally different
third
vibe.
One. This is an Ariel original.
Okay. A woman works for a fashion company, and the ne'er-do-well owner of the company falls in love with her. He proceeds to sexually harass her until she agrees to marry him. Featuring K Jewelers product placement. So that's it.
Hell yeah. And between the 3 of those, like, you'll figure out what's going on.
You'll figure it out. You got the vibe.
I also think the tagline was pretty amazing. This Christmas, expect the unexpected.
Okay.
Like, what?
Jeez.
That, like, kind of doesn't even have anything to do with the movie, I feel like.
No.
Why is that the tagline? And it's such, like, a nothing thing to say.
It's a nothing thing to say, but it's like literally low-key, I guess, like, expect to be sexually harassed in an elevator. Like, that's kind of, yeah, that is unexpected. Right. Would not normally want to expect that.
I guess it's pretty unexpected to find mistletoe all over your workplace, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So this movie is fascinating if for no other reason than because I can find basically no information on this movie online. Like,
we're laying the groundwork.
I can't find reviews of it. I can't find Q&A like with the filmmakers or anybody involved. I can't find production facts, like nothing about this movie. Nothing. It is crazy.
Did you mention the production company when you were saying everything earlier?
No, I didn't.
It is Mar Vista Entertainment, which is by and large like the best, awful, worst Christmas movies. They come out of Mar Vista.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mar Vista. I don't know what they're smoking or whatever, but like it's good, and I want some of it.
They're smoking that tree.
I fucking
that
want
Christmas tree.
So like whenever we are watching and we hear
Look,
the little
we've been
thing,
smoking Christmas trees for 30 years. Okay, I think we know what we're talking about.
We fucking got the formula down, all right? It's like a little ocean, and you see the thing, like when you hear the da-da-da-da-da, and it's the camera panning over the ocean. We cheer now. We're like, it's Mar Vista!
Okay, that rocks.
Yep.
Okay, so getting into the movie, we are centered around a woman in her workplace. So they work for a place called Trend Fashion.
And it's incredible. Trend Fashion.
It's unclear like what their job actually is, I think.
It's pretty unclear. It's like my niece who's 4 and like is starting to like Barbies and fashion. Like it'd probably be if you sat her down and asked what people did at a fashion company, like that's what she would come up with, you know? Which
is mainly stand around, be stressed out, drink coffee,
have an earbud.
Yeah, like a Bluetooth thing, like a big one. Big Bluetooth.
Big old Bluetooth. Take important calls.
But yet still when she makes calls, she's putting cell phone to ear. She's got she has a big Bluetooth in one ear and holding her cell phone to her ear in the other ear.
Holy shit. She really does, doesn't she? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what else do they do? Photo shoots. But the photo shoots it's unclear what is happening at the photo shoots. Actually, I saw several Letterboxd reviews say this, as well as this is what I thought, that it seems like sexual. Like, it seems like a porn or something is like, a porn is being filmed. Like, it's too horny. Everyone is wearing way too much makeup in this movie.
Yes.
What they're doing, it just doesn't seem like high fashion at all. And even like, okay, so this is kind of jumping ahead, but there is one time in the movie where the main character has to take part in a photo shoot. She's not a model. She is an assistant. And she's like, oh yeah, I guess I'll just model.
I guess I'll fill in.
I guess I'll fill in. And she's not really, like, she's a pretty woman, but she's not like model type. she's not model pretty. It's a different type of pretty. And so just describing this photo shoot specifically, first of all, she gets dolled up to the damn nines, head to toe, for what is a neck-based photo shoot. She's wearing like high heels, stockings, like everything.
Yep.
She's got like a cute little like horny Santa's wife, Mrs. Claus outfit or whatever.
Yep.
And then the way this photo shoot is started is they say, oh, the client called and he wants to add some expensive jewelry to the shoot.
Yep.
So they have to wait for the jewelry, which is why the other model left, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It is a jewelry photo shoot. So if the jewelry was being added to the shoot, what was the shoot?
I don't know. Was there other jewelry? I can't remember if the other model had smaller jewelry on. I don't know.
He said, I want to add some expensive jewelry to the shoot. And the whole thing is they have to wait for this jewelry. What was the shoot before the jewelry got there?
And imagine having like a high-end fashion thing and it's like, okay, we can't have a model, so my assistant will fill in.
We're just going to throw in whoever.
I can't imagine.
And the jewelry is like gaudy too. Like
it's hideous.
It's hideous. It's like gigantic gems.
Really
like,
chunky.
It looks like when you're like playing Pretty Pretty Princess as a child and like you have those like it's like huge jewels on a necklace.
Yes. Just hang like and this is a kind of tiny woman, right? So you're like,
yes.
She's
tiny, and in particular she has a small head.
All the neck muscles are bulging so she can hold it up with the weight of this necklace.
It makes the necklace look even larger.
It does. And I guess she's just capable of doing many things, huh? She can do it all. She can
jack of all
She
trades.
can talk on her earbud and her cell phone, and she can fill in for a model.
Bless her heart. They also allude to a boss named Mr. Dyer several times.
See, maybe that's
Your
why I
own
picked it.
Uncle.
It's me!
But Mr. Dyer, Ariel Dyer. But not only do we never see him or hear from him, or he's not a part of the movie at all, except for them talking about him like 3 times, but we do find out who the owners of the business, whatever the business may be, are. And neither of them are Mr. Dyer. So who is Mr. Dyer?
I think it was like an earlier draft. I have to imagine it was earlier draft of the script, right? Like that's what I have to imagine.
And they just forgot to take it out.
I think so.
They changed the story.
I think so. Because it matters so little at like the Christmas rom-com production mill, you know? They're like, we got to get this shit out. We got to crank it out. They're all done in the same warehouse, right? Like I watched one last night that it looked like every scene was shot in the same warehouse that had no walls, and they just used Christmas trees as separations because every scene had like 17 Christmas trees in it.
Well, they do famously reuse a set in this movie, which is the set where she lives, her like apartment building is the same as the office where she works.
Yes.
They just decorate it differently.
Yes.
But it's the same place.
But that's what they all do. They all have like, you're lucky if there's maybe 3 different sets. They're just dressing the same set differently. It's wild.
It's also every time they're outside in this movie too, they're in the same like courtyard area, and everyone in town is walking in this courtyard. Highly populated courtyard in the dead of winter.
They're all there.
Christmas time. Impossible to know geographically where we are, I think. Mm-hmm. I don't think they ever say.
I don't think so.
IMDb trivia led me to Christmas Kiss 1 being filmed in Richmond, Virginia. I don't know where it's set, but it was filmed there.
Huh.
And then also there's like a goof that says that this was in Boston. Well, the goof is like, they say they're outside and it's 5 p.m., but if they're in Boston at 5 p.m., it would be dark and not light. So, but I'm like, who said they're in Boston? I don't know where they're getting this location from, because it was impossible to geographically locate for me.
I'm trying to remember if they had any sort of, this is like my 3rd watching of this film, so I'm like, why the fuck?
Literally the only outside scenes are in this one courtyard. Every time they're outside, it's in this one courtyard.
Yeah, no, there's nothing defining about where they are. And they don't mention, I don't think they mention where they are.
I don't think they do either. I never remembered them mentioning, because the whole time I'm trying to figure out where they are. Yeah. And I don't remember hearing it.
It's a mystery.
It is a mystery. It's interesting. Okay, so who we do find out owns this business. This is what my notes say. We find out the grinchy girl boss owns the business with her slut brother.
Okay, accurate though. It's true.
So there's a grinchy girl boss and a slut brother who own this business together. Whatever the business may be, as I said, 'cause we don't know what it is.
It's trend fashion. That's all we need.
Trend fashion. No further details. We put the bosses on hold for a second. After work, we are introduced to her neighbor, who is also her male bestie.
Oh my God, yes. Jonathan Bennett.
And this is the guy from Mean Girls. He storms in looking like a property brother, yelling all his lines.
Only like what I can only describe as like the high camp of a gay man playing like giving an incredibly cunty performance of a straight man. Like that is it. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, and like they have more chemistry than anyone in this film, and yet it is so solidified in this film. Like, they are not dating. They will not date. Dating's not even on the table. She's obsessed with him getting back with his ex-girlfriend he just broke up with.
Yeah. Ex-girlfriend. Shocking. You know, like, this man is not playing straight at all. Not to say he can't.
Maybe they had to be straight for Hallmark.
Jonathan Bennett can play. I mean, he's an actor. He can do. He can do it. But
is he gay in real life?
He is gay in real life. Yeah, he's extremely gay.
Well, that makes so much sense. Like that makes this make so much more sense.
He's incredibly gay, and he's playing it like that. I don't know why he made that choice, because I think he's the lead.
I'm sure it wasn't up to him.
Right. I mean, but I don't know if anyone fucking cared about this movie. It feels like they could have done whatever they wanted, to be honest. I'm not sure. Like, beyond getting, like, the K sponsorship and being like, we need to really show that ring. Like, that's...
Maybe they had already casted his ex-girlfriend.
We never see her!
She's at the Christmas party at the very end.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah, she's like a
For, like...
It's a non-speaking
2 frames
extra
of
role.
Yes. She was probably like the producer's daughter or something. Yeah. It's like, I promise you'll get an on-screen role, honey. So they had to.
They had to do it. You know that he's in, which it's not streaming on a free service and is killing me. He actually finally, because it was straight up like very homophobic, I feel, that we started to get gay Christmas rom-coms that didn't have him as the male lead. Like, it was wild. And he finally is this year. He finally gets it. Yeah.
And what's it called?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew. Something about Christmas.
I know. Somebody else asked me, like, what movie we were doing for this. And I'm like, you know how Christmas movies are titled. Like, it's like A Wish for Christmas, A Christmas Wishing Kiss. Like, we don't know. Like,
he is in
something like that.
He's in a really also pretty depraved Christmas movie called A Dog Walker's Christmas Tale. That one's pretty good. But he plays the straight lead. Okay, Christmas on Cherry Lane. That's it. Christmas on Cherry Lane.
That's the one from this year?
Yeah.
Where he's gay?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. We're going to have to check that one out.
Yeah, we are.
They are, in this movie, kind of too close. Like, they're a little codependent. They're calling each other all day. They're hanging out every single night. They're, like, feeding each other.
Like, they only have each other. They have no other friends.
Yeah, and, like, even my besties...
He has no family.
Like, that's true. I don't see anyone that much unless they're my partner and we're living together. Which is not my case now, but has been in the past.
This is a queer platonic relationship, okay?
Yes.
Hello.
But we're just not allowed to know it's queer because of Hallmark purposes.
Yep.
But it would certainly in real life be a GBF scenario.
Yeah.
Gay best friend.
100%.
Because they are together 100% of the time.
Yes.
Something else I noticed also about like just the way this movie looks, the lighting is insane. It's not only most of the time extremely aggressive, it's coming from everywhere. Direction. It's like they're so washed out. You can even tell on the poster. Like they're washed out on the poster.
They are. Yep.
And like with the combination of like the makeup being thick as all hell, it makes them look really insane. It makes the main girl look like she has bad skin, and I don't think she does have bad skin.
No.
I think it's just the combination of like the slathered on makeup and the bright as fuck lights.
Yeah. It's the classic like overlighting scenario. I don't know why you would overlight, though. Doesn't that seem like a bizarre choice? You're like, hey.
It does seem bizarre.
None of our shit is probably high end, right? But we're just going to show everyone from all angles what we got here.
Yeah, except sometimes, like in the next thing I'm going to get to, which is the elevator scene, they're like lit by basically a single dangling bulb from the ceiling. Like,
yes.
The guy's eyes in the elevator scene are completely in shadow. He looks even scarier. Yes. It's like even scarier that he's committing sexual assault because his eyes are completely in shadow.
It's really sinister. It's really
so sinister.
Fucking, you could, without like any other scenes or any reshoots at all, like I fully truly believe this, you could if you took away the music track, you could just recut it and it would be as a thriller. Of this man stalking her. And it's so good.
It is a thriller to me. It remains a thriller.
It might be even more haunting with the quirky music in the background, huh?
Yeah. So what happens is the pervert slut brother, half owner of the company, thinks that the main girl is hot, I guess. Traps her in the elevator. They have not met or anything. He just like sees her and like traps her there, like literally stop the elevator vibes.
He literally closes the door, so she's trapped with him, and got rid of all the other people in the elevator.
There were okay, first of all, the whole scene needs to be set here.
Okay, we gotta get there.
The whole scene. Okay, first of all, this elevator. Just talking about the way the elevator looks. Totally like any real elevator. Not at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
There's like, it's drywalled and wallpapered and huge. It fits like 15 Christmas carolers inside of it who are, we're in an office building. Like there are people's jobs in this building. There are Christmas carolers there who are in the elevator just singing their hearts out in the elevator.
Yeah, and I think would be just taking up space in there for the whole shift, unless he makes them go out, right? But
yeah,
I think they're just camped in the elevator.
Strange. And then, so this man gets in the elevator. He had just laid eyes on this girl for the first time. They don't know who each other are.
And he left his girlfriend in the lobby. That's the other thing.
That is also true.
Another incredibly campy performance by that actress.
Like a bimbo sex worker down in the
she's
lobby.
Great. She's killing it for me. Yeah, she does great.
Oh, we'll get to her in a second. He traps this girl in the elevator, like stops the elevator, like, oh, I guess you're stuck in here with me or whatever. Super sinister, scary vibes. There is, hanging from the ceiling of the elevator in this workplace, mistletoe. Why is there mistletoe here? Why would there be mistletoe anywhere in a workplace? And what we do find out later in the movie is it's not the only place there is mistletoe in this office.
There's a Christmas maniac here in this building.
This movie should be called Mistletoe Maniac.
It's got to be the same person that hired the carolers, right? It has to be. This sicko.
Some Christmas pervert is running around hanging mistletoe from workplaces.
It's me!
I don't think I've ever seen mistletoe hung in any place I've been in real life. It's like mythical to me. So even just it existing anywhere is kind of insane. But especially in an office building's elevator in a workplace. And in this scene, even though it's like crucial that it exists to the scene, we don't even see it.
No.
He just like looks up and like hints that there is mistletoe just out of frame, smiling in the background.
We just have to remember, like.
Yeah. She is like, why did you trap me here? We need to call like the fire department or something. And he says, and why would I do that when I could do this? And just starts French kissing, fully heated, making out with her.
It's disturbing because also the thing is he goes in for a kiss and it's kind of initial kiss is like, okay, a kiss, right? Which is bad enough. But then this is when he gets this look and he tilts his head where his forehead's forward and his chin is tucked. And that's when he's in shadowed. And he looks at her.
This horrible like shadow.
An animal about to devour someone.
It's a long look, too.
It's a long, and it's very menacing. I cannot describe it any other way. And I'm not joking. It is funny, though. But I'm actually, it's truthfully, if anyone saw this out of context, they would be like, wow, that's a menacing look.
It is menacing. It's crazy.
And then he goes in for like the wild makeout. Like that's when he goes in for round 2.
Heads flying everywhere, tongues flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Wet and wild, yes. Mm-hmm. They do that. The elevator was only busted for 30 seconds, it turns out. And then when he gets to the bottom, his bimbo girlfriend is there waiting for him.
Yep.
Throughout the movie, when they get in and out of the elevator, people are always insinuating like, oh, am I interrupting something? Or like whatever. Every time anyone's getting in or out of the elevator, like, why is this what's in your workplace? This is an OSHA violation. Like this is this is levels of violation in the workplace.
Like this
makes me stressed.
They're already like, they understand. Maybe there's multiple elevators and they're like, if you get in this one, you're asking for it.
That's the that one. That's the horny elevator. Like,
that's the one. So if you get in there, I don't know. HR
you know what
is
you're
not
getting
going to help
into.
you.
You're asking for it.
Yep, that's it. It's not what were you wearing. It's which elevator were you in.
Exactly. So he gets out and he's like, babe, nothing happened. Even though they clearly just like did a powerful makeout.
And you can see that their faces are still glued together as the door opens. Yes.
Yeah. And the makeup is actually so thick and so powerful that her lipstick does not smudge at all, even throughout this wet and wild makeout session. Lipstick comes out in pristine condition. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have a smudge on him.
Nope.
Innocent till proven guilty. And so his girlfriend, she is like, I don't even know what her personality is. She's the type of girl who could be a model. She's very tall, very thin, statuesque. I mean, she is a model in real life. And she's always wearing sort of like a very like skin tight mini dress, like Posh Spice style. Mm-hmm. And then also with that, a gigantic fur coat. Yes. And then like huge heels. So that's kind of like her vibe.
Complete like trashy Euro vibe, right? Like that's really selling it.
Like if you ask like my mom to dress someone up as a hooker, like that, like if you use that word, like that is what she would put someone in.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's the type of vibe she's giving.
Yes.
And his character, people make it known that he's like this playboy, sort of just rich boy kind of fucking around with women constantly, jumping in girl to girl, you know, dumping them left and right, fucking anything that moves type of guy, like kind of a slime ball, kind of a pervert slut slime ball.
And they cast him, he looks like that. Like I think they did a good job with the casting because he has that kind of face. He has the chin, the slime ball chin. He has like,
he's got the chin of a pervert.
His hair is very floppy, you know, like the floppy hair.
Yeah.
When he is like, before he kind of turns baby face, like as a heel, he's very good.
Yeah. Good casting on his part. He's not a good actor, but he at least looks the part.
Not at all.
Sorry if you're listening, guy. I don't even know what his name is. But you know what you do.
Sorry. Come on, man. You know. It is what it is. Get that money.
You're working. Like, get it. Yes. So him and the Grinch boss are brother-sister. Grinch boss does not like him, wants him gone, doesn't even know kind of why he's around. He kind of sprung this visit on her. So in order to sort of like thwart him and get him to want to leave, they decide they're gonna make him do work. It turns out that doesn't work. He kind of gets into it, kind of has a like slave kink. So the assistant girl is tasked at first with picking him up and bringing him to work. And when she shows up to his house, he opens the door unshirted, completely topless.
So slutty, yes.
And we see him topless a few times in the movie, topless or near topless. And I think it's kind of incredible because he has like a normal body. Like he's not like a super cut dude.
Yeah.
He like kind of has like, I'm so sorry if this actor is listening. I'm really sorry, but
it's a good thing. Okay. It's refreshing.
I think it's good. It's just like a really interesting choice that like they have him be topless so much in a way that's like, I'm topless. Aren't you horny for my body?
Yeah.
But like, he has love handles. He's got a little bit of titties. Like, he's not defined in any way.
He's not like super cut.
He's not super cut. He's not like obese or anything, but like he just looks like normal, you know?
Yeah.
And like, so for him to be kind of like being shirtless as a flex to make everyone be horny for him, but not having like the type of body you normally associate with that behavior.
It's a hugely progressive move on Mar Vista's part.
It's so progressive.
In 2014, hello.
And look, I love a normal bod. Cut is actually not my thing, but it's just like interesting for a film.
Yes. No, it totally is.
To be like this. Yeah.
Well, because even in like Christmas rom-coms a lot of the time, especially now, I keep harping on it, but like you see these like to be honest, the actors a lot of times like in these movies, like they look like fucking Ken dolls, right? They look like Ken dolls. The women look like Barbies. And
yeah, especially in this type of movie.
Yes.
Like they're so like stereotypical or whatever. Yes. Like they want, like you said, the people to look like that, but they also want the relationships to be very stereotypical, very heteronormative, etc. So we still get the heteronormativity in this movie, but we're getting a little less of the like gorgeousness.
Yeah, because you're right. It's not Captain America abs or anything like that. It's just like, here's my, and it's not like he has a glistening chest. Like he's a hairy dude, you know?
He's just a normal looking guy.
Yeah.
And I respect him for that.
I love that.
So he is being so sexually aggressive towards her and so flirtatious, so creepy. Like keeps saying that their kiss was like life-changing.
A kiss like no other. Love that. He says it in such a serious and disturbing way. Did you tell him it was a kiss like no other? No.
And like guys like that, do they normally even care about kissing? Like
I don't think so.
Kissing is just a move to get to the next move because they have to, not because they want to.
Yes.
So it's interesting that he's so obsessed with this kiss, but he won't leave her alone. He like keeps forcing her to be around him. He first thing I think makes her eat at that outdoor cafe, which is, like we said, takes place in this courtyard in the dead of winter. Everyone's in coats, and yet they're all eating outside.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting. They don't even have those heater lamp thingies that a lot of outdoor restaurants have. They don't even have those. Nope. So no idea where they are. They're all in coats. They're freezing cold outside eating at this cafe. And they're always outside. Everyone's always outside in this movie.
Yeah.
He won't stop making little comments this whole time, but she starts kind of doming him by giving him tasks and making him oblige.
He's into it. He loves it.
He's into it. He has a work kink.
He does.
But he does also force himself into her office. He's like, I'm part owner and I need quote unquote training. So I'm going to post up in your office. And now we're roommates for office, like whatever you call that, office mates.
Yeah.
So he's all up in her space and won't stop, even though she's giving no.
She is.
He's just not having it. He breaks up with his bimbo girlfriend and calls the other girl on the phone with his shirt again unbuttoned all the way down to the belly button, but not completely unbuttoned. There's still one or two buttons together, but they're all the way at the bottom. So he's just lounging on the couch with most of the buttons unbuttoned so that he can show his normal bod again.
Yep, showing it off.
So he calls her to invite her back to the office again to do quote unquote work, I think. But what he does instead is surprise her with 9 trillion poinsettias.
Yep.
And while they're there, her dad calls her on the phone. Her dad, she has this whole side plot with the dad where like he has a whole second family. He abandoned her and her mom to like go marry some other woman and have kids with her, and now like doesn't care about her and whatever, but she was supposed to go there for Christmas and he keeps changing the plans. So on this phone call, he decides that he's bailing on her coming over for Christmas. Like, just actually don't come over at all, is the call.
Yeah. Horrible.
And while she's receiving this news, she's obviously quite upset. But Pervert Brother's in the background of this shot, and it's like a minute long. He's in the background just acting his ass off behind her. slowly like walking closer and closer to her, like with his head just so in frame, like just, you know, next to hers so that it appears perfectly above her shoulder, walking closer and closer with this like really intense look on his face, staring off into the middle distance as he has no one to look at or talk to while she's on the phone. And then so that when she gets off the phone and is crying and emotional, he's perfectly there to console her.
He was waiting in the wings. Yeah.
He was waiting literally in the wings. And so he, you know, he shows up for her when she needed someone. My rapist was there for me.
Yeah, guys, you don't even know.
And he suddenly decides he wants to throw a Christmas Eve party for the office, which is a nightmare to me.
Christmas Eve party. Yeah, like at work. Sorry, I'm not going to be there. I can't make it. Y'all.
No. Forcing everyone, first of all, last minute. At this point, they say Christmas Eve is a few days away.
No.
Forcing everyone to come into the office off hours, and it's Christmas Eve.
No.
Let the motherfuckers stay home. I've had to do off hours Christmas parties at jobs before. It is my absolute least favorite thing to do. I will go full teenager mode. I hate being there. I don't want to be there. I don't want to participate. Like, leave me to my time outside of work alone.
Literally. Did you have to go to those? Or it was like strongly, that's fucked up. That's insane. No.
My last job before the one I have now, I had to go to all the ones there. I think it was maybe 2 or 3 that I went to at that job because I worked there for a couple years. And then my job when I first moved to Chicago, I worked for an embroidery place that only had like 4 employees. And we all hated each other. And so we had to go bowling together and I didn't want to be there. And they basically were like, you come or you're fired, or it's like a no call, no show.
Oh my God.
And I was like mad.
Yeah.
I truly threw a fit. Okay, look, I'm not perfect. And when something's on my nerves, you're gonna know it's on my nerves. I'm so like inside out boy, hard on my sleeve. I can't keep that shit in. And especially when it gets to a certain level. I hated my boss there. He was so abusive.
Yeah.
I only worked there for like 6 months. He was truly like would come in and literally scream in my face.
Oh,
he was so mean. It was terrible. And then even my last job, like I did get along with everyone there, but we'd always go to like Weber Grill for our Christmas dinner thing for work. And I'm vegetarian, so like I never had anything I could eat. They'd take us to these fancy restaurants that I couldn't eat anything at, and just having to be forced to be around coworkers.
Never good.
And like dress up and socialize. I don't like being forced to socialize.
No.
I don't know. It's not my vibe. I don't want to be there after hours. I will work. I will show up every day to work. I almost never call off. I'm so reliable. I don't want to be there when it's not my work hours.
No.
I don't want to see those people. I don't want to know about them. I don't follow people online. It's a separate world for me.
I don't want to know, like, don't overshare about your personal life. I don't want to hear about any of that shit.
You can tell me anything while we're working. I can know about people's personal lives while we're working. Well, it depends.
Within limits for me. Within limits. Some real limits.
Because once you find out some certain things about people, you can't unknow them, and then you have to work together. I'm just thinking my job now, I'm lucky because everyone I work with is like queer, drag queens.
Okay.
Like,
I mean, that's rad. That's fine. That's different. I do not work in that environment. So yeah.
So my current environment, I do know like too much about. I know probably way too much about most of my coworkers because of that.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
in a normal job, yeah, maybe keep some things off limits. I never tell, like, nobody in my work knows I have a podcast or like what I do with most of my time.
Really locked down. Okay.
So I don't want people to know what I'm up to, but they can tell me anything, I guess. I just don't want my coworkers to be threatened by my celebrity status. But how do we get here?
Oh, we were talking about how fucked up it is that he's like, I'm gonna
Christmas Eve party.
Yeah, Christmas Eve party. Fuck that.
Yeah, no, fuck that. And it's only a couple days notice. I would be pissed if I was them.
I would be pissed. Yeah,
absolutely pissed. Nightmare.
Yeah.
So he decides he's gonna do this. He also talks a lot about how he's not interested in chasing bimbos anymore, and he's a changed man, and all this kind of stuff. Their kiss was like yesterday, so I don't know. He's changed in that one day since that one kiss.
You fixed him.
Yeah, and over they talk about how he's such a slut and how he always chases novelty. And they use the word novelty in this film. I think you could make a drinking game out of it. Like, how many times she says, oh, I'm just a novelty to you, or I'm just a novelty to him, or he's chasing the novelty. He loves novelty, blah, 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 novelty. Say a different word.
Yeah.
Say novelty one more time, bitch.
What is novel about, like, dating an assistant of, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like you're like, ooh.
Is it just like she's a new piece of
I'm
ass
gonna
that
date
he
a
hasn't done yet?
zookeeper. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, what is novel about this particular... Character-wise, there's really nothing novel about her personality.
No. Does she have one? We have yet to be seen.
Probably not. Yeah, but then job-wise, like, it's just like, on paper, is she even interesting? No. So
No.
what is there?
Not really. I mean, and like, she's pretty, but she's like normal pretty. It's not like she's like drop dead gorgeous or anything like that.
No.
No idea what is the deal. I guess she can give mad kiss.
I guess that's it. She gives life-changing kisses. That's what we know about her.
Fellas. Would you fall head over heels in love with and change your entire lifestyle for a chick who kind of normal, kind of boring, actually has nothing really to say and no personality, but her kiss is life-changing? Sound off.
Can you, like, maybe it's just me being fucking ace, but can you conceive of a life-changing kiss? I'm so sorry, but, like, I cannot understand like, what that would even entail. Like, a kiss is, like, pretty a straightforward.
Kiss that makes you literally change your lifestyle.
Like, there are bad kisses, don't get me wrong, but, like, there's not life-changing kisses, I don't think.
I've had in my life some really good kisses sometimes.
Yeah.
I've had bad, but I've had some really good ones.
Life-changing?
Would not change my life for them. Okay. No, not in any way. You can find other people who can kiss.
Plenty of them. Plenty of kissers out there. Mm-hmm.
Most people
are
can.
At
least fine.
Most people are at least fine. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like the times when I've had like a really bad kiss where you're like,
yikes,
what is happening? Has been so few in my life.
After a certain age.
And I've probably kissed quite a few people in my lifetime, out of my whole lifetime.
Like after a certain age, conceptually, even if you haven't kissed that many people, I think you understand how it works and do better. Do you know what I'm saying? Like even if you really haven't kissed that many, it's not like, even if you're like, it's not like you're out there kissing every night, honing your craft. Just thinking,
studying the blade.
Yeah. That's what we need to be like Jenna here, and we did. Just even thinking about it a little, where you're like, yeah, okay, like just physically how people's faces fit together. I think I can figure this out because my brain is fully formed, so I have spatial reasoning, right? I think odds are pretty good. Like, I just think...
And you can learn from the people you are kissing. Like, what is this person doing?
Yeah.
Maybe I should do what's going on there.
Yeah, I'll try that. I'll try that out. You know, it seems pretty simple. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's out there all the time. Like, maybe she's like... She has like a doll that she practices on. I don't know. You know? She could be.
Did you ever practice kissing on something weird?
No.
Not in your whole life?
I had a Frodo poster as a kid. I would kiss that.
Hell yeah.
So that's about as weird as it got for me. What about you?
I think my first kissing experiment that was strange was I had this Cookie Monster doll when I was very little, like I think less than 5, like little. But I would kiss this Cookie Monster doll for sure. But he was like big. He was like life-size Barbie type.
Oh my God, holy shit. So you could really practice. Like you really could
we could really practice. We practiced cuddling, everything.
Oh my God.
And then remote control when I got older.
A remote control? I just would like
practice kissing on my remote control. I don't know why I picked this one remote.
Maybe like the sensory, like the buttons and stuff. Like that'd be kind of fun, you know?
Yeah, it must have been like sensory how it hit right.
Oh my God. You're like, next time you're out with someone, you're like, can we try this? I just have this little remote. Can we try this, please?
And that was it. Like, you always hear about people like kissing their pillows or something. And I'm like, pillow, like...
Seems pretty unkissable to me.
Unkissable. Like, doesn't have lips. Like, there's no lip-shaped thing on it. Like, remote is, like, thin. It could kind of serve as a lip type of...
I could see that. Yeah, you could...
If you're going on the side.
You could chew it a little bit. Yeah.
So yeah, remote makes sense. I don't know. I probably have also in my life like kissed my hand or something like that. Remember, this is like fucked up. When I was little, maybe like between like 6 and 8, like pretty small, I would have slumber parties where people would do necking.
Oh wow, like
when we were little,
like 1940s necking.
Yeah, necking. We also would like pretend make out with each other, but we would put a fist in between our mouths. So like each person would be kissing their own fist, but it would be like we're still, pretend making out with each other or whatever.
Oh my God. You went to hornier sleepovers than I did, I guess. Or like they were having a horny party in the other room or something. I don't know. I was not a part of that.
I knew a couple, I think lesbians or bisexuals growing up. I knew one lesbian who was definitely a lesbian as a small kid.
Yeah.
And then I knew another girl, and then I'm bisexual, obviously. And then I knew another girl who I think has always been quote unquote straight in her life, but I think she's a lesbian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's just too Christian for it.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Damn, R.I.P. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure she was lesbian. So I just think I had queer people, we always say we attract each other. And I think that absolutely happened when I was a kid. I probably even knew other people who have, now I'm thinking about who were my friends at that time. I'm pretty sure we were all most of us were queer in some way. But I don't know like where these people are now. I don't know what their deal is now. But we attract each other's energy.
Yeah.
Even when you don't know, you attract each other's energy.
Yeah.
So I think that is a lot of what was happening is we were all giving queer energy and didn't know what to do with it. And didn't know there was like options for us to be attracted to each other.
So you just made out with your hands.
Wasn't an option. Yeah.
Right next to each other. Yeah.
We just pretend make out with each other, except for the two girls who definitely did do necking at my slumber party. When we were little, though, we were like I said, somewhere between 6 and 8, like
that's
young
crazy.
Kids.
Yeah, you're just like trying it out,
Yeah, we're like, she's like, I don't know, it feels good, and I'm like, it looks like it feels good. I don't know, man.
I feel like the like adult straight cis dude version of that is when the guys who like to jack off with each other, like they're hanging out, but they're jacking off.
I'm jealous of that.
It's fascinating.
It's interesting.
It's a very strange
I've always
culture.
said, like, I wish vaginas were easier to jack off. Like, penis jacking off, we're getting so blue. Like, penis jacking off is so simple. It
seems very simple, yeah.
Same thing works for everyone. It's a simple thing you do.
Right.
And then you come, and everybody knows when you came, and then it's done. Like, there's a definitive end to it, too.
Right, yeah.
Where, like, women can keep going and keep going. It takes all different kinds of things to make women come.
Yeah.
It's like, you could never jack off with a group of women. I mean, you could, but it just wouldn't be the same. It seems so easy for a group of men to just stand around and jack off together, and it seems like they've all done it.
I feel like the closest thing I've like seen in film representation to like a women jacking off scene is in it's in Midsummer when they're all crying together collectively.
Yeah. And that's not sexual. That's just emotional coming.
It's not sexual, although it could be, but it's the closest I've seen, right? You're right. You can't really like the rhythm of it just really wouldn't work. It
wouldn't work. I don't know. I did have a party once when I was a teenager where a girl was jacking off in my house.
Okay, all right.
I'm just feeling all kinds of weird tea today. But let's just say, long story short and no further details, she found a vibrator in my home. It wasn't mine. And she was like, I'm just going to jack off with this. So she just like started jacking off in my living room at a full party where there's like lots of people in the house. And we just kind of didn't know what to do. So we like left the room and just let her jack off in the living room by herself. So
wow. Okay.
But that was mixed gender. Like there were guys and girls there.
Yeah.
So
that doesn't count. It's not it's not.
But that's like the, I guess, closest I've been to like just a friend being around.
Yeah. What is like the pipeline to being like cis dude jerking it with your friends? Like, what is the pipeline there? Like, how does that start? You know what I mean?
I feel like...
What kind of targeted ads are you getting on your IG?
I feel like, first of all, especially younger guys are just kind of like horny all the time, unstoppably. And then, I don't know if this is like still a thing with like young people, but like, I know people my age a lot of times we're showing each other porn. Or I did have a party once where we all watched porn, but it was like, let's watch this funny porn I found. Okay. It's like people, we watched one that had Wee Man in it, and like everybody's dressed up like monsters. I can't remember what it's called.
Amazing. Yeah.
Everyone's monsters, and they like chase after these like quote unquote Catholic schoolgirls, but they're like 35-year-olds.
Yeah.
I was like, look at this hilarious porn I found. And then we just started watching it. And then we were just like watching other funny porns. But then after a while, it was like, are we all just like horny now in the same room? I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, I could see how it could easily morph, I guess. We're like, oh, check out this one porn. And they're like, what should we do about this? Okay.
Yeah. You know, so I don't know what guys are up to, but it just seems so easy to just have a penis.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I guess in that context, but I feel like in every other context, I feel like it would just get in the way of my life. You know what I mean? Like,
You think so?
Probably not at all, but I just do think I'm like, I don't know, man, like it just be flapping around and probably not, but like, it just feels bizarre. It's like, I feel almost similar to like.
Doesn't having a vagina like get in the way of your life? Like periods?
That's true.
That fucks up my entire life.
I hate that. Yeah, I don't like that at all.
I do kind of like, not having an external organ.
That's what I mean. Just like the physical, it's like, okay. But you know what though? Yeah. I think the same shit that would probably bug me with a dick bugs me. So, like if you're on a motorcycle, like it is not good on the clit. It hurts, you know?
Yeah. I've never ridden a motorcycle.
Yeah, well if you do, just check the clit. Have a little protection, you know?
Okay, noted.
You know, I mean, I don't know. I'm just like, maybe it's not flapping around. I guess it depends how big it would be, you know? I'm not sure, but...
It seemed like guys kind of figure out how to have it not flapping around.
I don't like having like tits that flap about, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean?
You're so right. I fucking hate having tits.
And so that's what I'm saying, though. Like, would you like another saggy tit between your legs?
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Because it is like two tits between your legs.
It's annoying!
With the balls and then the dick. It is two tits between the legs. Wow, I never thought about that.
We've discovered so much. Oh my god. That's what I think though.
And it's harder to hide if you're horny, I guess.
Oh wow, I didn't think about that.
That would be a nuisance, probably.
Well, and also I think sometimes you can have reactions. Like, I think that erections can also happen, like, if you're scared, if you're, like, for no reason at all. And it's, like, you might not be horny, but suddenly you're hard. Like, that sounds awful. Sounds bad. Yeah. Like, the same thing is, like, you know, if you're like, oh, I'm not wearing a bra or I'm wearing a bra, but it's like, oops, the tits are out because it's cold. Like, that's how it would be, again, with the dick. So, I don't know. Wow. A lot of liability there, you know?
You're so right. So pros and cons, I guess, ultimately. I've always thought, like, I'm not trans, not in a binary way. I don't want to, like, be a man or anything like that. I mean, I'm non-binary, but I've never wanted to just, like, turn into a guy.
Yeah.
But I've always thought that having a penis would be so much easier and maybe fun. But now I'm learning there's also cons.
In my totally made up scenarios, like, as a dickless individual, here I am.
Two dickless individuals.
Pontificating.
Imagining. And I love that this conversation is recorded and coming out on Christmas.
And, like, in the context of, like, this super, like, insane Christmas movie. I love it.
This is what most of my episodes I'm doing with people that, like, I barely know.
Yeah.
Or, like, I'm acquaintances with or have never met in my life. It's our first conversation. So this is what happens when I get someone on the pod. We have a deeper level. Suddenly we're getting philosophical about penis.
That's great. That's a good trajectory.
I love that, actually. But I just feel like people are learning a lot about both of us.
Probably. I don't know what they're learning, but good for them.
Sound off. I think my audience is about 60% male or more.
Great.
So what's it like?
What's it like?
Everyone, would you rather penis or vagina? Which one's better?
Which one's better?
What's the superior genital?
Where do you want the tits, man? You want them up here? You want them up there? You want them down there? You decide.
Where do you want the tits? Exactly. So getting back to this movie.
Sure, yeah,
I'm so glad we had this conversation. Though I have no idea how we got there at this point again.
I don't either. I feel like I blacked out for the last like 15 minutes. Yeah. No idea.
Literally, how did we get there? I don't know.
Yeah.
But, okay, so...
I don't even know where we are in the film. Yeah, I'm not even sure.
At least I know where we are just because I'm in my notes.
Awesome. Great.
Okay. Woo. The pervert brother.
Yeah.
This is like a really short scene, but something I really liked. It was like a passing moment. It's not even really a scene. The pervert brother and Grinch sis go out to eat. And in the like scene transition time where it's like kind of faded to black, the camera is kind of slowly panning into the room. It's not even really on them yet, but you can hear them talking quietly. I think it wasn't even supposed to be on mic. You hear him say, "What were you saying about haikus?" And she goes, 575. And he goes, "Is that what that is?"
Oh my God, what the fuck?
And it's such like, you have to really be paying attention to even know that something was said, because it's like quiet fading into the scene. I think it was probably supposed to not be there.
Yeah.
But it's so funny to me that I wrote down the exact lines.
Wow. I don't even remember that. Yeah, it was like one of the things where it's like, oh, look like you're talking, right? And so
exactly. That's what I think. Yeah. And that's literally the 3 lines that are said. What were you saying about haikus? 575. Is that what that is? And then the waiter comes up to the table and is like, "Oh, hi, gonna take your order," or whatever. And then that's when the scene actually starts. It was just so unhinged.
God. Do you think they were talking about that between scenes? Like they were discussing?
No.
And this man he has no concept. He doesn't know conceptually what a haiku is.
Well, like, the thing is, she doesn't even give enough information about haikus to explain what they are. All she says is 575. She doesn't say, oh, it's 5 syllables, 7 syllable. No, just, 575.
He said, oh, is that what that is? As if that, like, completely clears it up. I'm fascinated.
So, like, it's not even enough information to, like, fit a scenario. It's just, like, it's so silly.
Yeah.
But it's such something you could miss if you're not looking for it. But I thought it was so funny.
I love that. Wow.
And that scene, like, kind of nothing really happens in that scene.
There's so many nothing scenes in this.
There's a lot of nothing
You gotta hand
scenes.
it to them.
So they do have a Christmas tree shopping montage with pervert brother, neighbor, and the main girl. They have a Christmas tree shopping montage where all they do is like take a ton of selfies at the Christmas tree ranch or whatever. They're walking around this Christmas tree ranch and taking hella selfies.
This is like intentional hangout between the 3 of them.
They're getting closer. I think they like felt bad for him that he didn't have a Christmas tree in his home or something. And then he's kind of like, oh, I have no friends though. And they're like, come with us.
Which, by the way, is such a Christmas rom-com trope for the female lead to know that the male lead doesn't have a Christmas tree, and then they take him out as compensation or delivers one for him. I've seen it before. And I'll see it again. Yeah.
That's so random.
Very random.
I know a lot of people who don't do Christmas trees anymore. Mine, you can see in the Zoom probably over there on...
Oh, yeah.
That's my Christmas tree.
I see it.
My Christmas tree is about 1 foot tall, and that's it. It's a countertop Christmas tree.
Baby.
And I kind of decide each year whether or not I even want to put that out, even though it takes 0 effort, except pulling it out of my closet, this 1 foot thing, and throwing it on the counter. So I did decide to put it up this year, but some years I don't. And I don't know. I know a lot of people who don't these days.
They need someone to take them to experience the Christmas rom-com love.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is I'm ready to be in a rom-com.
Yeah.
So, I used to have a full tree and like do the whole thing, and I had 9,000 Christmas ornaments.
Yeah.
But they were all stored in the attic of my house, like a lot of people's are. However, my attic got infested with raccoons, and the raccoons ate my shit up. And I had so my mom was homeless, so I got all of the like family heirloom ornaments and stuff like came to me when she lost her house. So I had like all the stuff that like me and my brother had like made as babies, like the ornament somebody bought like the day I was born, like all this stuff that was like really sentimental that we had from our whole lives, and it all got ate up by raccoons.
Wow.
So
that sucks.
So after that, I just...
You're like, that's enough. I'm good.
Yeah. I kind of never restarted. And, you know, I just live alone now. And I don't have a ton of reason to, like, have a big tree in my house anyway. And the little countertop, I think I initially bought it because I was living in a tiny home for a while. And we just, like, literally didn't have room for a tree, like, even if we wanted to. It was truly a tiny home. So that's why I got this little guy. And it turns out I kind of like it. I don't know. It kind of rocks.
I like it. It looks cute.
Do you have a Christmas tree in your house?
I have a real Christmas tree because I actually like to get a real Christmas tree. I do the whole go to the Christmas tree lot or whatever. And then I have so many Christmas trees. I have a little one because when I was in an apartment, you know, I didn't get a Christmas tree. There was no room. So I have like a little one from Target, like one of those like white glittery ones, you know? Oh, yeah. So I still put that one out. And then I have like tiny ones everywhere. Like I go crazy for Christmas. That should be my Christmas rom-com title.
Wow, I feel surprised by that.
Really?
No. Not at all.
Not at all. So predictable.
So the next day after Christmas tree shopping, they go back to work and the girl and the pervert brother... Look, I don't know anybody's name in this movie. The girl and the pervert brother go into the photography studio that's at their job. And again, there's mistletoe. There's mistletoe in the photography studio, which feels like even more perverted of a place to have it because of like the dynamic between like photographer and model is normally what's happening in there. And there's mistletoe.
Yeah. That's bad.
It seems really bad that there's mistletoe all over this office, but especially in these weird places where you can easily corner someone with less power than you, and specifically a woman.
Yeah, they're like imbalanced power dynamic. Hell yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
And isn't the photographer in this movie married to the lawyer from Law and Order?
Yeah.
He's like literally the only character in this film who is solidly in a monogamous, committed relationship, and yet he has mistletoe in his office where he hangs out with hot models all day.
I wonder if the lawyer has seen this, you know? And in fact...
Christmas Kiss 3 coming up.
It'd be really funny. It'd be really funny if... well, because in the first one, in A Christmas Kiss, she's cheated on. She's like the mean boss. Like, she's the girl boss.
She's the Grinch.
She is
the Grinchy girl boss.
Like, it's cheated on, and her guy and this other character fall in love. Like, she's not the main character. Anyway, so it'd be, here she is. She thinks she found love. Think again.
And she's kind of like the wise mage throughout the movie, too, like, that keeps coming by, like, just hold out, and, like, you'll get a gorgeous husband to love you for Christmas, and, like, whatever. I don't know what she says, but she's always popping up, like, with some kind of advice, you know? So it's interesting just what's happening with her photographer boyfriend, Helmet.
Helmet.
I do know his name.
Helmet, yes.
Couldn't forget that one.
Yes.
So the girl and the slut brother do a kiss again, because when you're under mistletoe, you're legally obligated to kiss whether or not you are consenting. And she's distraught by it.
Yeah.
But everyone around her is trying to convince her to take a chance on this man, which is so fucking weird.
He's so scary. Well, I don't remember at what point in the movie this happens. There's a scene where he like leans in and whispers to her something really scary. Do you remember that?
Is it the time where it's like, it looks like he's about to go in for a kiss, but then he like stops like 2 centimeters from her mouth and says something instead?
Yeah.
That's like way at the beginning. I think that's like right after he takes over, posts up in her office or whatever. I don't remember what he says, but I do remember
it's something like,
you
can't get rid of me that easy, or something fucked up like that. It's something crazy like that. And it's just that I'm sure it's just that these actors like don't really have good chemistry at all. But like, she seems not into it ever. Like, she's not into the physical proximity to this guy. Like, it's just
never.
It reads as prey, right? Like, he is predator, and she freezes.
I feel like she was sexually assaulted creating this movie.
It's so extreme.
That's not funny, but what can you do but laugh?
What can you do but laugh? Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, yikes. Yeah, because she, like I said, she's giving no. She's giving no the entire movie, and he's just not having it.
No. Yeah, he doesn't understand that word. He's coerced her into every single moment. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It's really scary.
And yet every woman around her is like, even the grinchy girl boss sister, who initially was like, don't even think about going for my brother because he's a slut and he just likes novelty and you know, whatever, he's a himbo and blah blah. Even her, she changes her tune.
Yeah.
And the wise mage lawyer is like, give him a chance, and the neighbor, like, everybody's saying, I don't know, maybe it seems like he's changed, dude. And they've literally known this. I think the entire movie takes place over the span of a week. So it's like, and maybe even less than a week.
Yeah.
So my question is, what the hell?
Unclear, except that I guess he has, I mean, I don't know if they're like, he's got a lot of money, you got to go for it, you know, lock this down. I don't know,
man. She seems nice enough. She's pretty. She has a career. Like, she could probably have any guy, too.
Yeah, that's right. She's clearly
She even has single hot neighbor that she could even be fucking around with. Or the other bartender at the bar. What's his deal? We don't really know what his deal is, but, like,
we don't.
He's an attractive young man.
Yeah. And honestly, he clearly knows her and is weirdly privy to all the information about her and Jonathan Bennett. Yeah. I'm like, are you that close with your coworkers? I don't know.
He's a coworker spilling too many beans vibe.
Yeah.
I guess.
Plenty of fish in the sea, but she goes for the weirdest, creepiest one.
I think she's groomed by this man. Like,
yeah.
She's sexually assaulted and harassed so much by this man that, like, she gets that, what's that syndrome when, like, kidnappers start liking their
Stockholm syndrome or whatever.
She's Stockholm syndromed, yeah.
Oh my god.
She gets Stockholm syndromed by this man.
Yeah, he's so menacing, like, so effectively.
It's scary.
That she's like, this is the only option for me because he will never leave me alone.
Not only will he never leave her alone, but I feel like the people around her have so many opportunities to, like, help her and save her, and they are not, and they are encouraging them to be alone at all times. And she doesn't really reach out for help that much either, although I think as any person you should be able to see the signs of sexual harassment and step in without being asked. And she says stuff like, no, I can handle it, you know, like, I can handle myself. And you know what, ladies, you don't have to handle it yourself, okay?
That's right.
I'm just saying, reach out.
Reach out.
Literally reach out, because men, they'll do what they want if you don't stop them, if somebody doesn't stop them, and it doesn't have to be you.
Yeah, the whole thing does unfold, like, very nightmarishly, because everyone starts out as very against this man, and then as he kind of literally ensnares her, they all are suddenly saying, oh no, stay with him. Like, I've had so many stress dreams like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've literally had that dream.
No one's helping her.
No.
They're letting it happen. They're encouraging it to happen.
So she literally, it feels like she has no choice.
She has no choice. She's stuck in this system.
Dang.
It's terrible.
The patriarchy. That's what
it's really terrible.
This is just one big metaphor, honestly, this film.
It is. And actually, we've come around. This film is genius. And it's really it's really saying something.
It is. It is. It's got a message.
It's making social commentary. So his ex, the bimbo, comes over to his house to, like, manipulate the slut brother's ex comes over to his house to manipulate him into spending her birthday with him, even though he is clearly broken up with her. Like, I don't want anything to do with you. She comes over and is like, come on, it's my birthday, and is, like, putting on a slutty little look, and he's kind of like, no, but then he's like, I'm so tired, and just falls asleep, like, mid-sentence with her. Falls asleep so hard in literally 1.5 seconds.
Suspiciously hard.
Like, was he drugged? We don't
literally
know. Like, literally.
Seems like it.
He falls asleep so hard that she's, like, manipulating his body, takes off his clothes, like, is putting his arm around her, like, doing all this weird stuff to him, and he is just
kissing him.
Yeah, kissing him. He is just asleep.
You know, another point for this film, so progressive, sexual harassment, it's not just for men.
Yeah.
Right? Women can also do it.
Yeah, they're so progressive in this movie.
And in fact, this is a deeply uncomfortable scene because it feels like it's, like, kind of hitting too hard. I'm like, this is full on.
Yeah.
Bad what you're doing.
Bad, scary. Yeah. So she takes a pic of them, like, posed just so, and sends it directly, like, texts it to the main girl with a caption. I forget what the caption exactly is, but it's something like, oh, he likes to have fun with you in the day, but once he comes home, he's mine. Something like that.
Great.
Also, how did she even get that girl's number?
I don't know.
Where was the number exchange? Why would they have exchanged numbers?
They definitely wouldn't have. She probably like stole it from the slutty man.
Maybe
That's the only
so.
thing I can think of.
She's kind of weird.
She is kind of weird.
Weird situation. But so even though he was like saying no to hanging out with her for her birthday, he does still take her to the bar, the one bar in town, apparently. The one bar that's off the courtyard, it must be. And they have an even bigger fallout scene there because he didn't know, the slut brother did not know that she texted that pic, or that she even took a pic and texted it to the other girl. So the neighbor is bartending that night and spills the beans, and he's pissed. So much happens in this scene.
It's so much. It's like they're making up for lost time. They're like, wow, we had so many scenes where nothing happened. We're going to have like too much shit going on.
So first of all, he offers them a glass of wine, and the wine is called Chateau Kevy Wevy.
I'm obsessed with the wine. I love it so much.
Kevy Wevy. What the hell is happening with this wine? Who do they know named Kevin that they've like joked by putting this in the movie?
Isn't it a great joke though? Like, holy shit. Chateau Kevy Wevy.
Oh my God. The director's name is Kevin. I forgot.
Oh my God. Motel
Kevin
Hell.
Connor, director.
Kevy Wevy. I love this man. I need to be friends with him.
Get him on your podcast.
Oh my God.
He's done horror.
Die. Oh my God. If I had Motel Hell. Okay. Anyways. Wow. Plotting.
Hit him up. I bet you could.
Holy shit.
So the wine they drink is called Chateau Kevy Wevy, which is already psychotic. But then they have this even bigger breakup scene where every line delivery in this scene is so psychotic. Like the emphasis on the words is all over the place. I feel like, should I play a clip? I feel like you kind of
should. Okay, yes, please.
And I'm going to see if I can play the audio from my phone into the microphone.
Okay, yes. Oh my God.
Because the way they say everything in this sentence is ridiculous.
A glass of Chateau Kevy Wevy.
I don't know where the sound comes out of.
A word, honey?
Don't look at me like that. You know I fight for what's mine.
I am not yours.
Yes, you are. You always come back to me.
It's your birthday. I felt strangely obligated, but now we are done. We're through.
You said that we're through before, but you can't change. You're drawn to me. We're too much alike.
Before that comment might not have bothered me, but now I find it insulting. You're right, I did come back to you a couple of times in the past, but I never found you so revolting as I do right now. Goodbye, Brittany.
It's really good to hear it without any of
without
the visual.
Any visual.
Yeah, it's even better.
I never found you so revolting as I do right now. Like,
I don't know.
The whole scene, every line that they say in this sentence, and the facial expressions that are happening do add a lot to it too. But like, just listening to how they say shit in this line, it's like he was doing acting workshops with it or something. Like, yeah. It's crazy.
Try it this way, now this way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So wild. So I hope that came through. So crazy scene. They have a for real, like, never speak to me again type of conversation. Because she has been convinced, like, oh, I'm kind of evil and you're evil like me. So, like, there's no way you've changed and you're kind of going to be evil like I am. So just stay on the dark side with me is kind of her vibe throughout this whole thing. Mm-hmm. So this whole movie, the main girl has been trying to get her fashion designs seen by her boss. She's like drawn up some dresses or whatever.
Yeah, this is her like ultimate goal, right?
Is to like be a fashion designer, I guess, but it's unclear if that's even something that is a position at their job or what, because we have so little idea of what happens at their job.
Right. And also, like, I don't know much about fashion design, okay? I don't. But I don't think that it's drawing drawings. I'm pretty sure it's not, I drew some drawings, so now I'm a fashion designer.
Right. At least, like, that's not the entire job.
Like, you have to also make the things, right? And understand fabric and, like, okay, it's not just like, look, I doodled some drawings.
Yeah, but like the drawings are allegedly so impressive that, I mean, they look at these drawings and go, oh my God, these are like incredible. Like,
yeah.
But I don't know if any of them are incredible.
No.
But that's kind of how they treat it, like life-changing designs. Much as she can give a life-changing kiss, she can also give a life-changing design.
Yep.
And her Grinchy girl boss has been dismissive of these designs throughout the movie, but finally, Pervert Brother shows her the designs in such a way that it's almost like, oh, these are my designs. What do you think about them? And then she goes, oh my God, these are amazing. And he's like, just kidding. They belong to the other girl. A girl made these. Oh, so now when you think a boy made these, suddenly they're amazing, but earlier in the film you were like not having it. Interesting. Yeah, girls can be misogynistic. It's called internalized misogyny.
Another heavy critique this film really excels at.
This film is ripping into the patriarchy, misogyny, rape culture,
everything.
Taking it down. So he makes a goal of getting all these dresses made for their Christmas Eve party, which eventually turns into more of a gala just for the dresses than it does any kind of Christmas related party.
What's the lead time? We're looking at like 2 days out or
a couple days. Yeah, they say like 3 days out at one point, and this is like way after that even. So
and
it's
you
either
want them
like
to make dresses?
Many dresses.
Like,
there's
what
like 12.
sweatshop did you take these designs to?
Literally. Or they like, is this a challenge on Project Runway or what? Like, because they literally have like a 24-hour turnaround to make like 12 dresses. Like high fashion dresses.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly. And it's like Christmas time, so like you also have to shop for this fabric like while everybody's out shopping. Like, oh my God. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's too much.
And they're being put on mannequins too, so you also have to like find a bunch of mannequins and get them dressed, and yeah, it's a whole ass thing that they just act like, oh, no big deal. Helmet knows a guy who can make dresses. So they link it up, and the slut brother also calls her daddy to come to the party too, which he does, which is a big surprise to her.
I feel like, and that was a shock, because I feel like you'd think that would be, because normally in these movies there's some sort of forced conflict. This movie doesn't really have that. I mean, I guess like very minorly when the ex texts her, but it's resolved so quickly, I'd hardly even call it forced conflict. But it's like...
Yeah, the conflict really is like, do I or don't I date someone who's constantly sexually harassing me?
That is a conflict. But you'd think she'd be mad that he invited her shitty dad, who like doesn't even want her to come for Christmas and like doesn't even treat her like family.
Well, like here's the other thing is she also has Stockholm Syndrome for her dad. So you know what we're learning is that she's repeating behaviors that she learned from her parental relationships, which is such a classic.
Wow.
Like,
so true.
because she's obsessed with her dad and like trying to obtain her dad's love, even though he has proven time and time again that he doesn't have space for her in his life. He doesn't have attention to give her. She's desperate to have the attention anyway.
So true.
And so she's constantly seeking love and approval from someone who doesn't deserve her love, and she just repeats patterns of behavior. Oh my God, this movie is actually so deep.
Dark. Such a dark film.
So dark, yeah. Getting in murky waters. So that when her dad does show up, she's not pissed. She's ecstatic that her daddy finally like came to one of her things. Ladies, we've all been there. Daddy finally gave attention. And we later find out why he's there.
We sure do.
So there is
the first jump scare, the real jump scare of the film.
Such a jump scare. So they return to the elevator where the titular Christmas kiss initially happened. Slut brother, I mean, he's changed. He's a completely different man now. And he gives a big speech about how much he's in love with her.
Yep.
And we look down in his hand, and what is there?
It's Kay Jewelers' wedding ring. It is and they are taking every effort. That's what all the lighting is for, so they could shine it onto the logo. Kay Jewelers. Why would Kay Jewelers sponsor this film? This of all films?
Because every Christmas Kiss 2 begins with K.
This was a sequel, right? So we're talking about like this was a sequel, lowest budget of all time. I'm sure this didn't come on, it couldn't have come on Hallmark. Like this is not a good Christmas film by any stretch.
I don't know where it premiered.
But Kay said yes. Kay Jeweler said, yeah, this is the one for us. I'm so confused. Do you think like someone in production like knew someone at Kay or something? Like I just don't.
I feel like there has to be some connection.
Baffling.
Right? I don't know. Like it's It's truly jarring.
It's really horrifying because he's not a good person. We know this.
Yeah.
They even by Christmas rom-coms,
a sex offender.
Even by Christmas rom-com standards, they haven't known each other that long.
No. Like we said, a week max. Like max a week.
Many Christmas rom-coms, like not to say all of them, but many of them don't involve marriage at the end. Like it's also just a wild choice that we just jump to marriage.
Marriage. They have not even dated.
No, they haven't held hands. They haven't fucked. None of this.
All they've done is had a life-changing kiss. And that's it. And multiple instances of sexual assault.
Yes.
And then we pop to Kay Jewelers. It looks like a damn commercial, the way they have it framed. And then he opens the box to reveal the Leo diamond, a second instance of branding. So not just Kay Jewelers, the Leo diamond specifically. Weird, unhinged. And then he explains that he invited her dad there to ask for his blessing for marriage, asks her to marry him, and she says yes.
Yep. Like it's the best thing that's ever happened to her.
She says yes. That's so psychotic. You know this relationship's not going to last. He's talking about, I'm a changed man. It's been less than 1 week. He's going to be after the first novelty ass he sees.
Oh, chilling.
And she's not even like that hot for like a Playboy type guy. Like I said, this girl is pretty. She's normal pretty.
Yeah.
She's not like hot girl on the street. She's not like model. She's not even like very sexual looking.
No.
You know what I mean? She just looks like normal pretty, relatively pretty girl. For a guy that's like Playboy type, that's not even usually their vibe. They want to go after the hot nasties.
Yeah.
They want to go after like fake tan booty cheeks hanging out. Nothing wrong with fake tan booty cheeks hanging out, by the way. I support.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying that's typically the type for this type of guy.
It totally makes every type of sense to me that he would sexually harass her in the elevator. It does not make sense that he would propose. Like, absolutely. None at all. There is no sort of social leverage that she holds.
And like he's still her boss too. So like there's still that like power dynamic there too.
Yeah. I don't understand. This film is a fever dream. It does not make any sense.
How is he equal co-owner? This is like so not really. How is he equal co-owner in this business and he's never done like a day of work in the business either? How is that true? But he's like equal to the woman who works there every day and night.
That seems, wow.
Slaving over trend fashion.
That's fucked up. That's fucked. Yeah, he just waltzes in. He takes it over. He harasses the assistant and then marries her. What's going to happen? What, like 2 years down the road, what are we doing here? What's trend fashion up to?
I don't know, man. I did not care for them getting married. Was so fucking weird. I think they probably had to put that in the story just so that they could feature that Kay Jewelers Leo diamond.
Oh, you're so right. Oh my God. You're right.
They could have done that in other ways, though, I feel like. Like, they could have given the boss, like, a love interest or something, like...
Yeah. Or had it where that side character, the lawyer, the law and order person, like, maybe they're together and then they get married at the end, you know what I mean? Like, or they propose, you know,
anything.
Something.
Come on. I don't know. It was fucking weird, though. And it was so jarring. I was screaming.
Yeah.
Kay Jewelers all over the screen.
It like jump scare was a joke, but it's also true. Like it is very scary. Like a little bit of a scream, you know? Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess they're getting married. I guess that just happened.
That just happened.
And then final scene, the grinchy girl boss runs into a hot guy on what I assume is Christmas Day at work, because if we know the Christmas party took place on Christmas Eve, this is the next day, everything's still decorated for Christmas, and she just runs into a random hot guy who I guess is also working on Christmas Day, who isn't part of the office normally.
No.
The mistletoe's still in the elevator, so just ripe for another sexual assault.
It's still there.
And I guess she's getting her own sexual assault happy ending. Roll creds.
We love this. The elevator, I mean, this is almost like a Stephen King level, like the evil of the place, right? Like the place
rape
emanates
elevator.
evil. Yeah, the rape elevator. That seems like the next big thing from Stephen King, right? Like you have like an evil haunted house.
Any dark room in this building may have mistletoe in it, and when you're under mistletoe, you're legally obligated to like make out with whoever happens to be around.
Hello.
In your workplace, like it's so fucking weird that there's mistletoe all over their workplace. What the hell?
It's fucked up, dude. Yeah, it's not good. Also, I did just check, by the way, and this writer did write, Merry Christmas is about an elevator kiss as well. I was right.
Wow.
It was right. And I think it also involves, I can't remember if that's the one that I think it is. There's an older woman that keeps writing it at the same time as the lead so she can sexually assault him. That happens a lot for laughs in that film.
Wow.
So this is a very interesting screenwriter. I wonder what their life is like.
She's
like,
working
what
through
happens?
trauma.
Yeah,
she is working through trauma. Something happened to this woman in an elevator, and girl, if you're listening, I'm so sorry that happened to you.
That's fucked up, dude. That cry
you
for help
don't have to make it happen to other people.
Yes. Like, wow. Anyways.
Yes, the cry for help is heard, and we're here for you, and we're listening. We're present. We're here for you. If you need us to kick ass, reach out. If you need help, blink twice. Like we got you.
We got you.
Elevator seems like the worst place to kiss in because you never know when it will stop and someone else will get in or off too. They're generally short-term elevators.
You know, one time I was in an elevator alone and I farted in there and it was a bad one. And then I was like, I had the moment of panic. I was like, oh my God, if people are here when the door opens, it will be obvious that I farted in the elevator. And in fact, the door did open and it was like 3 dudes that came out. And I was like leaving and I couldn't help it. I was like fucking like laughing as I left.
You get out of this shit smelling elevator laughing maniacally as the door closes on 3 men
so that's
trapped in there.
That's the elevator trauma that I like to inflict upon others.
That's so good. You know, I have a similar story that I just was recalling to someone the other day. And this is like so old. This is like 2013, I think.
Okay.
It's just like a memory that popped in my head this week, and I was telling my friend about this. I had just started a new job, and I had my own office. But it was like a big office. I did embroidery, so all my embroidery machines were in my office with me. So it was like kind of a big office. But this was like my first week there. I farted in my office real bad. It was nasty. I mean, we're stressed. We're starting a new job. We have IBS.
Sure.
Like it was gross. And so normally, like I could be sometimes alone, unbothered all day doing embroidery. It just kind of depends. But sometimes that could be true. But it just so happened that after this terrible fart, my boss walked in the door. And like, in order to try and prevent him from entering the office and like smelling what happened, I like bolted to the door to like meet him and like try and get us out of my office to like talk in the hallway. And he just goes, "Wow, you're kind of aggressive, aren't you?" And I was like,
You have no idea, man. I'm saving your life.
You just don't know what's going on with people, you know? Because, like, he's just seeing me be insane and, like, fly towards him looking crazy. And really what's happening is I'm just trying to have my brand new boss not smell my fart, okay?
You're protecting him.
I was trying to protect him.
But
he didn't know.
The lengths you go for them. You know?
You think you know, but you have no idea.
Wow, I love how yours, though, is like a story of, like, I'm saving someone, and mine is like, I'm ruining someone's life on purpose, almost. Like gorilla farting.
I'm sure I've had my own times of like doing something disgusting where somebody came in, but that was just what I thought of because I was just telling that story to someone.
Yeah, I love it. Wow.
So we're getting all types of story on the pod today. I don't think I have any fun elevator stories. Not that I can think of. I've had elevator dreams, My job now,
Okay.
I'm on the 8th floor. I'm all the way on the top floor of the building.
Yeah.
And so we have to take the elevator all the time. So I have stress dreams where like the elevator goes crazy.
Oh,
or, like,
sure.
it's flying up and down or something. But that's just dreams.
Horrible.
So I don't think I've had anything. Oh, I better knock on wood.
You better. I've had a
I don't
couple
think I have
elevators
any.
behave very weirdly. Like once I got stuck in
Yeah.
an elevator, not for long, but enough to be very panicked and be pressing the emergency button. And it was at my work, and it was like having issues and had to be put out of commission. So that was very scary.
Yeah.
And then another time I was doing an elevator and it was like going all over the place. Like it was like fucking,
Ooh.
yeah, a lot of elevator moments in my life. Too many, actually. I do not like elevators. I prefer taking the stairs if I can. But
They're always a little scary. Like getting in an elevator is kind of like getting in a plane. Like there's always, you have that fear that like the plane's going to crash. Even if you've flown in the plane a lot of times, as soon, like you might be totally fine. As soon as it wiggles just a little bit, you're like, we're going down.
Yeah.
Same with elevators, I think. It's like there's always that fear that you could crash. And it's probably not going to have you. Probably fine. People use elevators all
odds
the
are
time.
low. Yeah.
Odds are low, but there's still a little bit of that fear there. We've watched, I think, too many movies where people get stuck in elevators or crushed by elevators or different things get like their limbs stuck in the door and they get chopped off or something. Like,
I think so. And it's like such a complete, like you have no control, right? It's not like even like if I was stuck in a room, I could like, I don't know, throw a chair against the window or something. You can't really do that in an elevator. You don't have a chair to throw.
You're powerless.
And the door
you're
is
just in like some
machine-powered.
cavern. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you can't get up or down. Scary. Horrifying.
very scary. Like you're returning to the womb or something. You know, it's fucking awful.
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Elevators, terrible.
Yeah.
They're useful. Like, I don't want to walk up all them stairs for sure, but
you really
they're
wouldn't
scary.
want to kiss in one. Wouldn't want to
No.
kiss in an elevator. Wild
probably
to
not.
write 2 movies. Not just one, but 2 that center around that.
Yeah. And with mistletoe even. Ugh.
With mistletoe. Even worse.
With mistletoe, yeah. All right, so we've rolled creds on the movie. So we should score this out of 5 or give final thoughts.
Okay, great.
So what you got?
It's a 5 out of 5. This is like, it's got to be a 5 out of 5 for me. It has everything I want. It's like, I was trying to get my sister to watch this, and I was like, hey, watch this movie. It's like so fun. And she's like, well, fun how? Because like,
I know what you think is fun, and it's fucked up. So.
yeah. I'm like, I don't really know how to convey to you. I'm like, it's not like a horror movie. There's no like torture or gore, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know what you're going to think. But anyway, so it hits all the boxes. It's really bad in every single way. And I love it. It's everything that I could want. And the fact that it has like, there's some sort of campy element. There's camp with the billionaire slut man, with Jonathan Bennett, the roommate guy, and then even with the ex lady. I love it. So it's 5 out of 5, 100%.
Okay, interesting. I think on a scale of like fun, bad, probably, well, it's hard to say because I think some of the sexual assault stuff was like triggering. Like I kind of didn't enjoy watching it.
It's very fucked up. Yeah.
It is like the whole story is like kind of fucked up, but like it is like terrible acting. There are like funny lines, like terrible, like in a fun way.
Yeah.
So if you don't consider that there is sexual trauma happening, I think it probably is like 3.5 or 4.
Okay.
With the sexual trauma, that was hard.
Yeah.
On a scale of normal movies, it's probably really low.
Yeah. Oh God.
Like half a star, 1 star.
If I was scoring this like as a film, I don't think I could. I would do the thing like if I'm doing like a Goodreads review, like, and I just don't rate it. Like I don't give it a star rating.
It doesn't even hit the star scale.
It could not at all. But for this specific like weirdness that I need out of Christmas rom-coms, perfect.
Definitely is weird. I don't know if you could watch with your parents though. Even
I think they would be confused. Yeah, like they'd
be confused, but also I don't want to watch sexual assault with my parents.
No, God, no.
It's a weird one.
It's just a weird one for sure.
All right, so somewhere between 3 and 5 on the goofy Christmas movie scale.
Now it's time for ScreenVomit.
So in this part of the pod, we just talk about whatever else we've been watching lately, movies or shows or whatever else. So what you got?
It's been really, like, my brain has not been good, so I haven't been... So the Christmas rom-coms, but also, like, the new Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares and the Great British Bake Off. And me saying that like means my life is like I'm unwell. You know what I mean? Like that's what it means. It's a huge cry for help.
Oh.
I'm not proud of it, but I have to be honest, you know, those are sort of the things that I've been watching. I want to see some good shit again. I want to get back in the headspace where I'm like able to watch like the good shit. I really want to see that new Miyazaki movie, The Boy and the Heron, but I just haven't been able to get to the theater, you know? So pretty bleak over here. In this side, in Bakersfield, California. It's not good.
Classically bleak in Bakersfield.
Yep.
Or is that your whole list then?
That's all I got, man. That's all. I panicked and that's all I prepared. So yeah, that's it.
All right, so I got a couple.
Okay,
I'll
cool.
make up for what Ariel doesn't have.
Good. Yeah. Maybe I can it can rub off on me, you know?
Okay, so I've also been in a little bit of a mental illness.
It's a little bit of a little mental illness here.
A little bit of a dabbling in mental illness. So I've been doing a couple of rewatches of like stuff that I love. That's like comfort movies to me, I guess. So these two are rewatches. Which one is a short called "Getting in a Van Again." I've probably certainly talked about this on pod before. It was on my top shorts from last year. This is directed by Johnny Look. It is a short for the band Fruit Bats based on their song "Getting in a Van Again." Johnny Look also my next guest on the pod after this. So
yeah.
He'll be coming up soon. But I love this short so much. It's so fun and cozy. I don't know. I like it a lot. Anytime I hear that song, it's stuck in my head for weeks, but also I have to watch the movie again every time. And I've probably seen this short 100 times.
Okay. Wow. Amazing.
And I just love it. It's so fun. I love all Johnny's movies. Okay. And then I also rewatched Strawberry Mansion, which is another movie I really like. One of the most gorgeous films of all time. Just a beautiful film, spiritually, sonically, visually, gorgeous movie. And it's also like a DIY film, so it's like the ways that they were able to make it is amazing.
It's on Tubi.
Yeah,
and Prime.
It just came out on Tubi this week.
Shit, this is it. This is my moment.
I think if you're gonna watch this movie and you haven't seen it, like set a mood, like literally turn the lights off, like watch it.
Okay,
because
put my phone in the other room. Yeah,
it's like so beautiful.
Okay, yeah,
it's like just really beautiful to like take in, and it's so unique. Like the story is really unique and really creative. I love it so much. I'm also a big Kentucker Audley fan. And speaking of him, I'm about to watch. I haven't watched this yet, but I've been excited for Christmas Day. My Christmas ritual is that I watch this movie called Christmas Again.
Okay.
And it's not, there's like a Disney movie that's that title, but it's not that one. It's a small movie. I'm trying to see who's directed by Charles Pokel.
Okay.
It's my favorite Christmas movie and I watch it every year. And so one thing I have been really excited for is getting to Christmas Day so I can watch that movie again because I love it so much. Okay, I am going to say a couple of things that I did actually watch recently.
Okay, go for it. Keep it coming.
I'm just gonna keep blasting them off. I've watched a couple Hirokazu Koreeda films recently. I really love this filmmaker. I did his movie Shoplifters for the pod a while back, but recently I watched his movie Monster, which is a new one. I saw it at a film fest. And then also his movie Like Father, Like Son, which is an old one. And they're both just gorgeous. He does a lot of movies that are like about alternative family structures or like examining like what does family mean, and I'm crying my eyes out every time. They're all beautiful. They're all like so just amazing. Emotional, beautiful. Like Father Like Son is about two families who find out that their sons were switched at birth, like they were accidentally given the wrong baby, and so they try and figure out like, is it more important to be with the son that like has my DNA, like is that my son, or is my son the one that I've raised for 5 years, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of that. And it's really beautiful movie. And then Monster is actually about a young gay boy kind of coming into his identity. And it's just, it's so beautiful. He's such a good filmmaker. I love all his movies. And then one last one I'm going to say is just another short called A Folded Ocean, directed by Ben Brewer. It has some of the most insane body horror I've seen. Just really crazy body horror. So if you're into that stuff, watch A Folded Ocean. And that's my stuff that I've been watching.
Nice.
Lots of Rex this time around.
You know what? Let me plug the two other Christmas Recs, but they're not Christmas rom-coms. They're it's for Not Your Final Girl, where we did 2 like fucked up Christmas movies that aren't actually Christmas movies, really. One is Inside, the French.
Okay, yeah. I used to love that movie. I haven't rewatched it since like 2009, so I haven't seen it in so long, but I've seen it a lot of times back then.
That movie is so fucking zany, dude. What a zany film.
I remember loving it, but I probably need to watch it again to know really what I feel about it now.
We both, Candace and I both liked it a lot. I think we really, like, there's a lot of love. It's just the end is so zany and weird, I think. But like, no, I actually, like, I find that movie to be pretty fascinating. So that one, and then paired that with a movie called The Leech that came out last year. It's like an indie film. Know. Eric Pennycoff, I think, is the director. That movie is like about he's like a priest, but he has a parish or whatever. I don't know how religion things work. No one comes to his church. And then he finds a drifter who he basically takes in because it's the Christian thing to do. And the drifter is an unhinged roommate, and like things go downhill from that. So
hell yeah.
Very fun, kind of like fucked up Christmas episode that we are putting out. So there you go. Some more fucked up, unhinged, but like better movies than a Christmas rom-com would be.
I mean, you can also recommend like some unhinged Christmas rom-coms if you've seen anything good lately.
If I had seen anything good lately, I would have I would have already told you. Like, they've all been really forgettable, stinkers. Unfortunately. Yeah, they've been stinkers. Damn. Yeah.
Damn.
Hate to see it.
All right, so we can do plugs then. What you got to plug?
I guess that episode, I'm in a podcast. Is that how you say that? I'm in a podcast.
I'm in a podcast duo.
Yeah, I co-star in this podcast. Not Your Final Girl. We are a podcast, so you can hear it everywhere, probably. I don't do the plugs at the end of our episodes. That's why it sounds so fucking bad. Candace does. But then Not Your Final Girl on Instagram, Facebook, and also Twitter, but we don't do anything on Twitter because I don't like that place anymore. It's a hell.
Yeah.
But we're on all that shit, and it's just horror. We do horror. We talk about horror shit, and I don't know, live our best lives doing that. It's very fun. Yeah.
All right, well, that's the end of the pod then, and thanks so much for joining me yet again.
Man, who knows what next year will bring? We can only hope and dream.
We went to so many places this year on this episode. I mean, truly, where can we go from here? We're gonna find out next year.
Maybe next year we'll do a live ep. We're gonna be in the same hemisphere or whatever. So
that's true. I need to probably figure out how to record in person since I've done this podcast as a Zoom podcast since 2019. Since pre-COVID even.
Yeah.
I'll have to get a new setup to record in person. We'll figure that out when the time comes.
Yeah. Plenty of time.
All right. Thanks for joining me. Bye.
Hell yeah.